Michigan. I started in Grand Ledge, which is near Lansing. Then I went to Grand Rapids, and we saved the best for last. I want to thank Charles Dantzler for sharing his thoughts with us and introducing me. I thought he did a wonderful job, and it's not easy coming up and standing in front of the crowd, especially when you have to talk about what is such a painful experience. You know, getting laid off, having the business you work for close its doors. But unfortunately, that's a pretty common story in the George Bush economy that we are living in. So I want to thank Charles, and I want to thank Sally Shaheen Joseph, who did a wonderful job singing the national anthem, and Reverend David Carl Olson, who gave us our invocation. Now, I am very fortunate because I've had the privilege of traveling across Michigan many times, going back to my childhood. You know, I was born and raised in Illinois, outside of Chicago, and I used to come up and through Michigan for all kinds of reasons, and of course, campaigning in 1992 and 1996 with my husband was such for the grit and resilience of the people of this great state. All of that strong work ethic and understanding of what it takes to do an honest day's work, that really helped build America. It wasn't just about one state, it was the contribution that previous generations of the folks who helped to fuel the great American economy going through the 20th century. And now we are at a turning point once again in America. Some of you know that I was planning to be here in Flint early, and you were here. Well, I appreciate your forbearance and patience because I was actually in the Capitol with your great senators, Carl Levin and Debbie Stabenow, voting. And we finished voting, and Debbie was going to come with me, and she was so looking forward to it, but she had to stay because she has been working so hard in order to get some additional help to begin to transform the American automobile industry, and she wasn't leaving until it got signed, sealed, and delivered. Now, I know you've got some great state and local leaders. I was with your governor earlier, and boy, was she dealt about the hardest hand that anybody can play in American politics. But just recently, Governing Magazine said that Michigan was one of the 3 best governed states in the entire country. And I've worked for many years with Congressman Dale Kildee, who wouldn't it be nice to have a president again who would stand up and fight for you and turn our country around, but we can't do it without your help. Because this election is really not about the candidates so much as it is about all of you. After all, in a democracy, we elect our leaders. Now sometimes, after an election's held and you see how they behave in office, you can't find anybody who voted for them. Have you ever had that experience? But we have the opportunity not just to change the direction of our country, but to elect a leadership team with Barack Obama and Joe Biden who will put us on the right track. this debate was important because a lot of people were tuning in for the first time. They were trying to get the measure of, the two candidates. And I thought what we saw last night made it abundantly clear that Barack Obama understands what he's doing whenever I come to an event like this and see so many people who took time out of your busy lives,
we love you!
I love you all too. Laughs and make some jokes at somebody else's expense. But this is a really serious time because the challenges confronting our country are ones that are going to test our next president and all of us. It may well be that there hasn't been a president to inherit more difficulties than, maybe Harry Truman when he became president before World War II ended. And so what we have to do in the next 38 days is to make the case as to why the Republicans do not deserve and have not earned 4 more years. Now, I thought this election was going to be important for a lot of reasons, but now with the economic crisis confronting America, it's become even more serious. When you see what is happening in the credit markets, that's not just about Wall Street, that's about Main Street. Because they have frozen. You want to buy a home, you want to buy a car, you have a small business, you heard about the Diamondology, end of his career in the diamond store closed, well, you can't get credit. One of the biggest car dealerships in America closed last week. Couldn't get credit for itself or for its employees. For 2 years, I have been saying, some of you may have seen me, that we needed to address this underlying mortgage crisis because it was going to slowly but surely erode our economic position. It was one of the many challenges confronting hard-working middle-class families. So I called for freezing interest rates and putting a moratorium on foreclosures, helping people rewrite their mortgages, going after the predatory lenders, keeping people in their homes instead of having vacant houses in neighborhoods that then deteriorate, bringing everybody else in. Well, the Republicans just basically said, oh, she's wrong. We can contain this. This is not a big problem. And so, for 2 years, including last December when I went to Wall Street and said to the people I represent there, you got to help solve this problem that you created. Nobody responded. On the campaign trail, both Barack and I were talking about the real concerns of people. And we got a lot of response from folks around the country, but our president sure didn't seem like he understood what was going on. And so for 8 long years, people have been working hard to do the right thing, but they feel invisible to a president who doesn't seem to understand that he was supposed to be leading and advocating